likely going to have his hands full in this one.
Michigan State, after Penn State won the toss and elected to defer, Michigan State gets the football first. And the Spartans making their way out onto the field with Brian Lewerke at the helm. And can Brian Lewerke have the game today that he did against Penn State last year? If he does, Michigan State can have a similar result to last year, which was a win. 400 yards last season, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception against the Nittany Lions. It was a crushing blow to Penn State's chances last year when Michigan State won in that game delayed over 3 hours by weather in East Lansing. In front of Lewerke, the 6th different offensive line combination in 6 games. And on first down, the carry for Hayward going nowhere. And James, this run game of Michigan State is going to be something to watch all game long. Can they get anything going?
Yeah, and talking to Dave Warner, their offensive coordinator, and also Mark D'Antonio, they always have a goal to come out and get 35, 40 attempts on the ground. They're extremely successful when they're able to reach that 40 carry mark. However, they've struggled so far this season.
To the air for the first time, Lewerke, Sowards with the catch, and down just shy of the 30 in the arms of Nick Scott. Take a look at today's Auto Owners Insurance Impact players, James.
Yeah, well, look, when you're Michigan State, you got to start to test these guys on the outside. You have to test the Nittany Lions corners. That's Felton Davis. He's the main man on the outside. Matt Allen, that name sounds familiar. Jack and Brian, both here at Michigan State. Defensively, it's going to be John Reed and Amani Oruwariye. These guys have to hold up. I expect Michigan State to try to drop back and challenge these corners for Penn State this afternoon.
4 receivers on 3rd and 5. Sowards in motion for Michigan State. Lewerke on the roll, and that's a first down. Complete to Cam Chambers to the 40-yard line.
That's a really nice job by Brian Lewerke of having patience there, Kevin. When you're rolling to your left, that's a tough throw for a quarterback to throw it back almost across his body. He waited for that opening there and able to connect with Chambers.
Chambers had 5 catches for 82 yards a week ago, kind of his coming out party last week. As the first grab of the day today to get a big first down for Michigan State. Here's Hayward, a little crease, and Hayward with a good, strong first down run across the 47. Garrett Taylor on the tackle for Penn State.
And that's what they're going to need from Connor Hayward. You see him right there running through tackles. Kevin, when we were on the phone with Dave Warner, he said that we just need him to break some tackles. Sometimes on run plays, guys will be unblocked, and you have to run through those arm tackles. Really nice job on a tough physical run by Connor Hayward.
Hayward again on 2nd down, and Hayward gets a first down in the Penn State territory at the 49. Koa Farmer again on the tackle, but that new offensive line combination's opened up back-to-back holes for Hayward.
Yes, it has, and I was wondering coming in, and I wanted to track early on if Michigan State was going to stay with that same script of being able to run the football or attempting to. So far, they're still trying to attack the interior of this Penn State defense, sticking to who they are as Spartans.
Pry, Penn State's defensive coordinator, looking on. Talked with him yesterday. Didn't want to be the first team that Michigan State got the run game going against. Lewerke with pressure, swings it to Hayward out of the backfield. And good work on the edge by Jan Johnson to make the tackle just a 1-yard gain.
Nice tackle there by Johnson in the open field. He's one of those guys, Kevin, that when you watch the tape, 36 is always around the ball. He's always making tackles, nothing extremely flashy. That's why he's leading the Nittany Lions in tackles this season.
Second down and 9. Four-man pressure. Looking for Davis, and Felton Davis covered by Tariq Castro Fields. All right, James, first big challenge for Brian Lewerke on this drive, a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, well, Brian Lewerke, Kevin, should be thankful that was a missed throw there, because Castro Fields sat on that route. These are the situations, though, when you're on the road, you want to avoid 3rd and 9. And the reason being, Kev, this crowd's getting into it. You can hear it right now, and as a quarterback and an offensive line, it makes communication difficult.
On 3rd down, delayed blitz. Lewerke's receiver Davis stumbled on his break, and the pass incomplete brings up 4th down. Coverage from Amani Oruwariye, and the Nittany Lion defense gets the stop.
And really good coverage there by Oruwariye, but it makes you nervous as a quarterback when you try to hit a receiver that's stumbling, because it gives the DB a chance to jump in front of it.
We've seen Oruwariye this year. He sealed the App State win with the interception in overtime in week 1. And the punt just creeping into the end zone for the touchback. And the Nittany Lion offense, after the 48-yard punt, making its way onto the field. Mcsorley going to run on a design draw, and he stumbles forward to the 24, where Andrew Dowell covers him up. Well, Trace Mcsorley coming off one of the greatest games for a Penn State player. 461 yards total offense, a school record against Ohio State. 175 of those on the ground, the 2nd most in Penn State history for a quarterback. He was not Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. There's Sanders on 2nd down, runs right into the arms of big Raekwon Williams. No gain for Sanders, and now 3rd down and medium for Penn State.
Well, they're trying to run right into the strength of that Spartans defense. It's called the triangle of the defense. That's the 2 D tackles in Williams and Panashuk, and Joe Bocci, the outstanding Mike linebacker for the Spartans. And you try to ride right those teeth. You got to test them early and see what they're all about.
On 3rd and 6, pressure coming. Mcsorley finds Hamler. And Hamler with a 1st down, a little 2-step on the sideline near midfield.
Well, this has been an issue all year for the Spartans defense, is the pass defense for them. And KJ Hamler has the time to get across the field on the drag route. Trace Mcsorley delivers an accurate strike.
23 for Mcsorley on the completion to Hamler. Miles Sanders with a hole and a spin, just tripped up by Justin Lane. And today's Auto Owners Insurance Impact players on this side of the ball, James.
Well, look, if you're Penn State, you're going to need a big day out of Miles Sanders. And KJ Hamler, we've already seen him in action, and he can do multiple things: return game, receiving, running, everything. Joe Bocci and Mike Panashuk on the interior of the Spartan defense are 2 of the 3 of that triangle I mentioned earlier before.
On 2nd down, Mcsorley to the air again, caught by Brandon Polk, and Polk down near the 33-yard line. Joe Bocci on the stop, and Trace Mcsorley creeping ever closer to history. I told you that he needed to get to 40 yards to become Penn State's all-time passing leader, passing Christian Hackenberg. He is knocking on the door just 4 yards away. From the 33, Mcsorley. Ball popped out. Is that a fumble? They're saying it is, and if it is, Michigan State's got it at the 31. Kari Willis Willis jarred out with the hit on Mcsorley and a turnover to the Spartans.
Recovered by Michigan State at their 31-yard line.
Tariq Thompson under there to get that football. And Florida's Michigan State defensive coordinator Mike Tressel said they've been inconsistent creating pressure without scheming for it. How'd they do it?
Yeah, well, I want you to look at number 93 right here, big Naquan Jones, and also number 27, Kari Willis. Jones gets the pressure up the middle. And when you play an active quarterback, you have to make him step up. Willis with the nice forced fumble there. Good stuff for the Spartans.
Ladarius Jefferson in at running back. Lewerke to throw on first down. Floats it to the sideline with a tight end, Matt Dotson, able to pull it down. Didn't even look at this. No question it was a fumble with the helmet of Willis knocking it out of the arm of Mcsorley before he even started to throw.
Yeah, and the best way to gain momentum on the road when you're in this hostile environment and the crowd's going crazy is to come up with a big play on defense. The formula for Michigan State is going to be dominating defense, superior special units, and opportunistic offense.
The ruling on the field on the previous play was a completed catch. That play is under further review.
So they're going to look at this catch by Matt Dotson, his 4th of the year. Let's see what we can see here. Our replay official is Jim Kemmerling. This is what he's looking at. Does he control it? Looks pretty good.
Looks like a catch to me. They always want to check to make sure he goes down.
Now we've got hat cam today. This is the look from hat cam. That's Matt Sokol, who needs to learn that hat cam is behind him and he needs to get out of the way.
Well, more than anything, I mean, you get a good idea of what the refs are looking at. The ref was in great position to see that.
Well, he's not wearing a hat cam, but we have our own Mike Pereira, our rules analyst in our studios in Los Angeles. Mike, the question is, and I know you've heard this before somewhere, is it a catch or not a catch? What do you think?
Well,
maybe I should get my normal response.
Confirmed, completed catch, first down.
My normal response might be I'm really not sure, but in this case, I really was sure. You know, he got a foot down, and then he did not make a football move. He went right to the ground, so he had to hold on to it. But he had control when he hit the ground, then rolled over still with control, and maintained that control. So it was clearly a catch.
No, Mike Pereira, good to hear from you. Thanks. We'll check in again. On first down at the Spartan 49. There's Jefferson, first carry. And a little yardage up the middle, and that's the second carry we've seen today, James, where Michigan State's found yardage between the tackles.
Yeah, they're really doing a nice job, and they're running this power play in the interior. Ladarius Jefferson, and the first time it was Connor Hayward, they're doing a nice job of just picking a hole and going for it. They're running with their behind their pads. They're not dancing behind the line of scrimmage. It's a welcome sight for Spartan fans.
Second and 5. Jefferson smacked in the backfield by Sharif Miller. As we check in for the first time in Chicago, an update with Mike Hall. First time in the history of Nebraska football that they have been 0-6. We've got the Huskers next week against the Gophers on BTN, trying to get that elusive first win. Gophers fell today to Ohio State. Lewerke to the air, too tall, looking for Sowards at the 35-yard line, and the Spartans will have to punt it away.
Well, he had a chance there because Sowards had gotten inside leverage on John Reed. He just let it sail a little bit.
Just the look from Hat Cam.
Hat Cam gives us awesome on-the-field vision here of the game. Lewerke just had that sail on him.
Tyler Hunt hunting it away. DeAndre Tompkins from the 11 did not call for a fair catch. Flags are down. Flags all over the field. And Tompkins down shy of the 25. We may have multiple penalties on this. A flag at the 13 and a flag back near midfield.
And usually when they're down in that area of the field, it's some kind of holding on the return team. Blocking the back possibly.
Mike Cannon is our referee today. 40-yard punt, a 12-yard return, but we'll see what the flags are about.
Purpose yards, an explosive athlete.
Hamler and Tompkins to the top of the screen. Mcsorley changing it up. And it's Sanders with a gaping hole. Sanders into the secondary and off to the races. One man to beat. Can he do it? Tripped up at the 5 by that one man, David Dowell.
And what a run, what a hole. And what looked like one of those RPOs. He decides to give it when you notice that the A-gap is wide open. And Miles Sanders was off to the races.
First run of 20 or more against that #1 rushing defense all year. That one went 78 yards. They held Northwestern last week to 8 yards rushing. Sanders gets 78 on one play. Mcsorley to the end zone. Hamler touchdown. Hamler gets the glory after Sanders did the work. And Penn State capping a quick 4-play, 94-yard drive with the touchdown. Jake Pinniger's extra point is good, and it's 7-0 Nittany Lions. But it was Miles Sanders, James Laurinaitis, that got it going.
Yeah, it was Miles Sanders up the middle for the longest run of his career, the longest run by the Nittany Lions this year. And then what do? You get the linebackers all antsy. Stop the run, play action pass over the middle, touchdown, Nittany Lions.
KJ Hamler on the receiving end of a Mcsorley touchdown pass. Hamler into the end zone for the 5th touchdown catch of his young career, but it was Miles Sanders' 78-yard run against the #1 rushing defense in America, Michigan State, that set Penn State up for that first touchdown of the afternoon. And a quick strike offense, the 3rd drive this year for Penn State of 90 yards or more. 18.2 yards per carry thanks to that 78-yard burst as Hayward will take the knee. And let's go back one more time and look at this long run, James.
Yeah, well, if you notice, there's 2 gaps that are open here, and there's only one defender standing, Joe Bacci. What do you want the kid to do? So you hand it off, where do you want him to fit? It's a gaping hole, it opens like the Red Sea. And Miles Sanders is able to take it and just start sprinting as fast as he can. Doesn't quite have enough to make it all the way. But I promise you, as a defensive coordinator, you don't draw up defenses to where you only have one guy off the ball and 2 open gaps for him to fill in.
So now work for Brian Lewerke to do. Down 7-0. Starting at their 25 with Ladarius Jefferson in at running back. Lewerke Davis with his first catch, and Felton Davis with a first down. Let's check in with Mike Hall. David Black, that's his name. That name again. Sorry, Simpsons times. Thanks a lot, Mike Hall. 1st and 10. Jefferson churning forward to the 39-yard line. A pickup of a pair. Robert Windsor on the tackle as we check in with Lisa Byington.
A lot of attention being given to Michigan State center Matt Allen in the last couple of timeouts when this offense have been on the sideline. Coaching staff telling him, you have to be loud, you have to be loud, you have to be clear and definitive. Mark Staten, the offensive line coach, has said Matt Allen has started to show a little bit more of his personality since he has become a starter. As you guys had mentioned, this is the 6th straight game, a 6th different starting lineup for this offensive line. Matt Allen's got to be one of those leaders for this offense to have success today.
No question, he has to be. Here comes pressure up the middle against that offensive line. Looking for Davis, underthrown. He makes the adjustment but can't get the foot down.
Well, Brian Lewerke puts the ball on the back shoulder. Really a nice throw. And Davis just drops it. You have to wonder if the fact of the sun and the shade is kind of one of the areas on the field. Brian Lewerke taking a hit as well, as he got pressured by linebacker Cam Brown. Talk about a specimen, Cam Brown, 6'5", 223. How about that height and length?
Movement up front, and 3rd and 8, about to become 3rd and 13.
False start, offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Tyler Higbee with the full start. Next Saturday, BTN Tailgate heads to Madison as Dave, Jerry, Howard, Spice, and Michelle set the scene for an exciting day in the Big Ten. It's BTN Tailgate presented by TIAA. Next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on BTN.
This is not where you want to be right now if you're the Spartans. 3rd and long. Defensive coordinator Brett Pry has every play at his disposal.
Davis at the top of the screen for Michigan State. Instead they'll go to the middle. Chambers couldn't pull it in off the tip. He had a shot at it, but Cam Chambers just couldn't snare it, and it's 4th down.
And that's back-to-back drops now by Michigan State wide receivers. The official had a good look at that drop there by Cam Chambers, who, as you mentioned, Kev, he was starting to come along in this offense, starting to make some plays, much needed, as well as they had injuries to Jalen Naylor, to Darrell Stewart, Cody White. They're going to need him to make those catches if they want to compete here in Happy Valley.
After joining us late, Darrell Stewart, Cody White, Jalen Naylor, L.J. Scott, none are here. And a terrible punt that'll get a good Michigan State roll and is down at the 27-yard line by DeAndre Tompkins. And again, don't forget Jake Hartbarger was injured at Arizona State, is out for the...
I was using that Fox Sports app earlier today.
Miles Sanders, a 78-yard run that he had in the last drive, more than any team has posted against Michigan State in any game this year. Mcsorley to the air on 1st down. Jawan Johnson with the catch. Wrapped up immediately by Kari Willis. The ball out. Does it belong to Michigan State? It looks like it is. They've not made the official signal yet. Recovered by Jacob Panashuk.
The ruling on the field, the forward progress has stopped, 2nd down.
We could see from up here that both officials, one was trying to say, hey, it's Michigan State's ball, the other was ruling the forward progress, and since they made that ruling of forward progress, you can't review that.
Boy. I think Penn State got a big break there, James.
Yes, they did.
2nd and 6 at the 31. Not a reviewable play, as James mentioned. Off play action, and Mcsorley had that one slip out of his hand. This is not going to go on the Trace Mcsorley highlight reel.
He's got plenty of highlights. This is not one of them. He's putting his hands up like it was somebody else's fault. His hands go up like, what are you doing? Well, he's allowed one of those, isn't he? The career he's had here.
Yeah. When you're coming off a game with 461 total yards, I think your first incompletion of the next game, probably let that one go. 3rd and 6 from the 31. Pressure coming. Mcsorley in trouble. Mcsorley gets back to the line of scrimmage, but he's dropped there. Antoine Simmons and Brandon Boyer Randall there. Kenny Willekes with the initial pressure on Mcsorley.
And really good coverage down the field as you look. Mcsorley had some time, stepped up, but by the time he stepped up, he had nowhere to throw the football. Juwan Johnson was locked down by Justin Lane. A really nice job by Simmons being able to use that spy. I was wondering going into this, Kevin, who are they going to use to spy Mcsorley because he is so athletic. That was nicely done.
Punt Sowards from the 20, trying to get around the edge. Sowards making a couple of men miss and is down just shy of the 30-yard line. Jonathan Sutherland on the tackle and a flag down late. 50-yard punt and a 10-yard return.
On the return team, illegal block in the back. Number 4, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Michigan State.
It's C.J. Hayes called for the block. You can help people affected by Hurricane Michael. Donate today by going to redcross.org or text Michael to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief.
It'll bring up 1st and 10 for Michigan State. They'll start the drive at their 19-yard.
Spartans so far with 61 yards of total offense. Going to work against this Nittany Lion defense that has had consistent pressure throughout the season. Can they create more on Lewerke? He'll keep it himself and try to get to the edge, and he does. And Lewerke's going to have a first down. And this is something that offensive coordinator Dave Warner said, keep your eyes out for more runs from the quarterback to try to get that run game going again.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out ways to incorporate his athleticism. The defensive coordinator for Penn State, Brent Pry, was telling us that he doesn't get enough credit for what he can do with his legs. If they're going to create some ways to spread a defense out, you got to have the threat of Lewerke getting out on the edge.
Hayward on first down. And Hayward with 4, Koa Farmer with the tackle.
And from sitting in those meeting rooms all those years, Kevin, as a defender, you want to say, hey, we want to keep teams under 4 yards of rush. It kind of keeps you ahead of the chains defensively, and vice versa for an offense, right? They want to get more than 4. If you're able to get 4 a carry, that really opens up a lot of that play action pass game for Dave Warner and this Michigan State offense.
Right now, 3.9 yards per carry for Michigan State, James. Second and 6, Lewerke off play action. And Lewerke with a little miscommunication. Sowards, the intended receiver. The receiver went one place, ball went the other.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Brian Lewerke, you've had multiple different receivers playing because of the injuries that you have on the outside. A lot of times you're going to assume that the veteran quarterback was the one that had that right. But a lot of times those route adjustments on the fly can be tough for young wide receivers.
Quick toss and Sowards can't pull it in. Donovan Johnson on the coverage. And another punt coming for Michigan State.
Yeah, Kevin, the most disappointing thing right now for Michigan State fans is watching, because you had drops. This is the 3rd drop that I can think of in the last few drives. If you're Brian Lewerke, you know you're going to have to make plays through the air because that run game has struggled thus far. The drops are really disappointing so far. You got to make some plays to try to get a big win on the road.
And Hunt, it's a fake. And going the other way is Hayward, and Hayward steps out of bounds at the Penn State 40-yard line.
Boy, if he's able to keep his balance, he has a touchdown. He was trying to tiptoe down that sideline. Mark D'Antonio, the direct snap to Hayward, the up back. Bocce as a blocker on the edge, and a nice job by Hayward. And watch this, if he's able to keep his balance, There's nobody there to make a tackle, and he knows it. Gutsy play call by Mark D'Antonio.
And provides a little spark for his offense back to work at the Penn State 40. Jefferson on first down to the 36.
Kev, that's a smart play call by Mark on the fake because of the fact they're in their own end. It wasn't the typical like 4th and 2, 4th and 3 where you look for a, hey, watch the fake, punt safe type unit. He did it on a traditional where teams are going to kick it, play field position. Really gutsy call there.
And now Hayward going to throw. Looking deep for Chambers, who's got it! And Chambers down to the 1. Connor Hayward doing it all. The fake punt and now the toss down to the 1.
You see the give to Hayward and he pulls up. Just throws up a prayer, it seems like.
Holding. Defense, number 5. Penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
Tariq Castro Fields with the hold, and it's 1st and goal, Spartans.
Well, you see the tug on the jersey right there as he's trying to get separation. There was a little hand fighting on both sides. But anytime that ref, you see it right now in his cam, when he sees any jersey of the offensive player, he's going to throw a flag for holding. And really a nice job by Chambers. We got on him earlier for the drop. A really nice job adjusting.
Early in the second quarter, and it's been Brian Lewerke stepping aside for Connor Hayward on this drive. It was a Hayward run on a fake punt, and then a Hayward pass to get it down to the 1-yard line. It's Ladarius Jefferson, the running back, on 1st and goal for 1. And it's Jefferson who gets the carry, and it's Jefferson driving to the goal line, and he's stopped just short by Micah Parsons.
I know for Mark D'Antonio, he really wants to be able to run this football into the end zone.
Did he get the ball across? Doesn't look like it.
No, yeah, his knee was down prior.
Jefferson again, driving this time over the right side. The ball pops out. The ball is out at the 1-yard line. Jefferson coughing it up at the 1. And now it's a matter of unstacking the pile. And it's Michigan State ball. What a break for the Spartans.
Well, Michigan State runs the same play, 2 plays in a row. Power to the top of your screen.
There's the ball out.
Yep.
Boy,
Michigan State very fortunate to get that ball back. Now, Kevin, that's 2 plays in a row. You try to run power from the 1-yard line. A week ago, Michigan State on a 4th and 1 tries to get a big conversion for the game. They end up being stopped on a similar play call. You got to be able to get a yard if you're a power football team.
They'll try with a sneak. I don't think he got any, didn't. And now a flag in behind the play. The flag thrown in the end zone as he stacked up inside the 1.
After the play was over, dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct, defense number 69. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's C.J. Thorpe, who moved over from the offensive line to the defensive line after the Illinois game. And James Franklin aggressively counseling his young defensive lineman.
Well, you can see him on the ground right here. Probably upset that he got put on his behind. You can't swing at a player after the play, and again, it's Michigan State, a first down.
Jefferson will try again. A flag down in the end zone as Jefferson turns and churns for the touchdown.
Offside. Defense, number 93. Penalties declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
And Ladarius Jefferson's second rushing touchdown of the year caps the 81-yard scoring drive.
Well, it's power again. They run power to the left this time instead of going to the right. Hey, say, you try it 2 times to the right, try to sneak, doesn't work. Let's try going left. And they get in the end zone. It wasn't easy, but that penalty gets the assist for the Spartans. Gets them on the board.
Matt Coughlin on for the extra point. And a 7-7 ball game. It matched Michigan State's longest drive of the season. They had an 81-yarder against Utah State. But on the drive, you had a fake punt. You had a halfback pass. You had a fumble at the goal line recovered by Michigan State. And a touchdown run by Ladarius Jefferson. Speaking of touchdown runs, Lisa Byington's was somebody who did a lot of that in a Penn State uniform.
I would say he had quite a few here at homecoming with Saquon Barkley. Mr. Popularity, I must say, in watching him here on the sideline. This is your first time back after leaving Penn State. What kind of things are you taking in with these moments?
Yeah, you know, you realize how much you miss it. Obviously, I love the NFL, but you always miss college. You always miss home. I'm just happy to be back here, be able to support my teammates and my guys, and be able to see past teammates I had in the past.
You just happened to witness a little bit of history with your former quarterback, too, with Trace Mcsorley. Tell me what makes him special as a quarterback?
You know, he's just gritty. He's a gritty player. He works his butt off. You know, no matter wherever, how many people doubt him or whatever, he's going to work his butt off and push himself and push his teammates. He's a great leader. He's a great player, one of my favorite teammates ever. Obviously, I'm wearing his jersey, and in my opinion, I think the best player in college football.
I want to give you an opportunity to give a salute to our colleague, Matt Millen. I know you guys share that connection. You went to the same high school and obviously now Penn State. What can you say for Matt? I know he's watching.
Yeah, Matt, I just want to say, you know, I'm thinking about you, praying about you. You know, we went to the same high school. When he came here, he gave me a lot of tips, a lot of lessons to help me for the next transition of my life. And, you know, I'm thankful for him. I want to let him know that, you know, I got his best interest in my heart.
Thank you for that, and thank you for the time, Saquon. Kevin?
All right, and of course, Matt Millen, our colleague at BTN, is watching right now in the hospital awaiting a heart transplant where he's, I believe, sending notes and commentary to our producer, Bart Fox, critical of the broadcast, critical of everything he sees and hears, as many of you are. And Matt, just know we're still thinking about you. We got your jersey hanging up in the booth again, as it will all year long. From the 25 on first down, there is the catch by Cam Sullivan-Brown as we check in Chicago with Mike Hall. Matt's biggest criticism was of the update guy in Chicago, so he's terrible. So he's right, 2nd and 3. Mcsorley off play action. Flag down behind the play as Mcsorley throws it away. Pressure coming from Tyreek Thompson. And this is likely a hold that's going to bring this one back.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
Conor Mcgovern.
Well, Conor Mcgovern has his arms wrapped around him right there. It looked like Kenny Willekes trying to split a double team between McGovern and Will Freeze. But look, you cannot put your arm around a defensive football player. If you do that, you will get caught every single time. Dead giveaway. Will Fries, excuse me, and Conor Mcgovern.
Ricky Slade in at running back, the freshman with a carry. And Slade, nice juke move, just got tripped up at the 30-yard line by Justin Lane. He might have had a first down if Lane wasn't able to grab that ankle.
If you're going to play corner and Mark D'Antonio, Mike Tressel's defense, you have to be able to be physical and tackle on the perimeter. Really nicely done by Justin Lane.
3rd down and 5 for Mcsorley and the Nittany Lions. He's got Freiermuth open. He'll go there, but he missed it. That's become one of his favorite targets of late, the freshman tight end, Pat Freiermuth, but he just airmailed it a little too tall.
And that's a big body to hit there, Kev. Freiermuth is 6'5", 258. That's a big target. Ball just got away from Trace there. But you're right, Freiermuth has been showing up on tape. He did it against Illinois, did it against Ohio State a couple weeks ago. He's been making plays at that tight end position for the Nittany Lions.
Soward's the deep man for Michigan State. Football on BTN is powered by high-octane, clean-burning American ethanol, the power behind E15. Another ride in on the Letterman's bus. New tradition started this year at Penn State for homecoming. It's first come, first serve. As many Lettermen that you can put on there. Franco Harris leading the way off, meeting with James Franklin as he greeted the bus. Coach Franklin's idea to add another little layer of tradition to this tradition-rich program. The Letterman's bus on homecoming, bringing the Letterman to the stadium. On first down, the carry for Connor Hayward, and Hayward to the 26, picks up 4 on first down. Well, Hayward was Mr. Everything on that previous drive for Michigan State. The run on the punt, the fake punt got him 26, then he threw the pass down to the 1-yard line.
Well, he's been Mr. Everything when he was in high school. He played 5 different positions all over the field. We've seen some of that skill and versatility already this first half.
Second and 6. Lewerke flushed. And Lewerke runs it out of bounds instead of throwing away. He'll lose yardage as a result, back to the 23.
Brian Lewerke needs to make a quicker decision there, Kevin. I know he has his eyes down the field, but when you have the speed that he does, and you have a big defensive tackle chasing you, big Kevin Gibbons showing his athleticism from that deep tackle spot. But if you make a quicker decision to turn the Jets on, you can turn that corner and get a gain instead of a loss.
One for 6 on third down today. Lewerke, quick toss, fingertip grab, nowhere to go for Luis Nelson. Donovan Johnson the reason why, and it's fourth down.
Lewerke had plenty of time to step up in the pocket and to make this throw. Problem was on the drag route way before the first down marker. Nice tackle by Penn State. Good job getting the ball back.
Tompkins from the 30. Tompkins with a lane. And Tompkins with the return out to the 46-yard line. 16-yard return for DeAndre Tompkins after the 45-yard punt. And Tompkins a little slow to get up after that good punt return. On BTN, it's a top 10 volleyball showdown from Rec Hall in Happy Valley as the Nittany Lions square off with the defending national champion Huskers. Big Ten volleyball powered by American Ethanol. Tonight, 8 Eastern, right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. It's quiet right now in Rec Hall, but I promise you, tonight at 8 Eastern, it will be anything but quiet. That is a heavyweight bout tonight.
False start, offense, for 84. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jawan Johnson moving early. 1st and 15 for Penn State, enjoying their best starting field position of the afternoon.
I think our own Lisa Byington is going to that volleyball game tonight.
I didn't know she was allowed to go to volleyball and not work it. I believe she's just going as a fan. And up the middle, Miles Sanders, nice cut, just tripped up at the 49-yard line. Is that true, Lisa? You're allowed to go to events as a fan and not actually work them?
Yeah, you know, I went last night as to hockey game. I picked up my annual creamery stop as well, and I'm going to watch a little volleyball here tonight. You know, the interesting thing about that match, you talk about the top 10 matchup, as much success as this Penn State volleyball team has had, half of the team has not beaten Nebraska, and the other half has not even played Nebraska. So that's kind of interesting here going into tonight between those two teams.
On Russ Rose, the head coach of Penn State, many moons ago, spent a little time in Lincoln. Now, of course, John Cook The head coach of the Huskers has had Nebraska volleyball at or near the top almost every year with just 2 terrific programs. That match tonight on BTN. 3rd down and 3. Mcsorley on the design draw, and Mcsorley is not going to get the first down. How about that front of Michigan State slamming the door on Trace Mcsorley?
And as they lined up pre-snap, I saw one linebacker in the box. They ran this play a ton against Ohio State a couple of weeks ago. And a nice job by Panashuk in the interior. When you have D tackles like Williams and Panashuk and a Mike linebacker like Joe Bocci, who studies extremely hard, watches tape all the time. They said that he never has an off day. He's in there asking for film review before they even have it done. Really well done, nicely executed by those 3.
Raekwon Williams shed 2 blockers to throw off that play, and then Panashuk finished it off. Excellent work all the way around by Michigan State as the punt bounces into the end zone for the touchback.
The ability to get 4 or 5 yards on 1st down has to really be a relief for Dave Warner as a play caller. You have a lot of options now in 2nd medium. And then defensively, their ability to bottle up Trace Mcsorley, with the exception of the one long run, they've done a pretty good job in that area.
Jefferson the single back with Sokol in motion. On 2nd down, the toss play to Jefferson, trying to get the edge, and he won't get there. Good work by John Reed, who came up from his corner spot to make the tackle, and it's 3rd and 4.
Really nice job. To be able to diagnose that fast on the perimeter, as John Reed did, jumped inside the wide receiver, did not have, look up here. He's going to jump inside of Soward, make a nice tackle. Good form tackle on Darius Jefferson. It's a luxury when you have guys on the outside that can tackle like that and get involved in the run game.
0 for their last 6 on 3rd down. Lewerke on the rollout, incomplete. Again, it's Reed. Again, it's Sowards. And again, Reed gets the better of the Spartan offense.
Again, Brian Lewerke is fortunate that this ball wasn't returned for a touchdown, because John Reed had the jump on him. And John Reed was going for it. You can see his arms out. He's trying to get that pick. And Soward's body just gets in the way. Interesting to continue to roll Lewerke out to the left. That's a couple times we've seen that for a right-handed quarterback.
Hamler awaiting the punt. Good punt this time from Tyler Hunt, and Hamler with a fair catch at the 36-yard line. 6:51 through the air. Mcsorley will go to the air, and he finds his tight end, Nick Bowers, who's tripped up at the 41-yard line. So that begs the question, James Laurinaitis, why has Penn State not been able to get it going through the air early on?
Well, I think some of that you have to give credit to Michigan State's defense and the fact that they're playing their receivers extremely tough. He hasn't had areas to go with the football. And also maybe the wind's playing into it a little bit. It was gusting earlier on in that 1st quarter. It definitely has to come into play and try to pass it.
On 2nd and 5, Mcsorley on the keep, trying to find room up the middle, and he runs right into the arms of Raekwon Williams after a yard on the ground.
Well, what you're seeing here is they're seeing a prepared Michigan State defense. They've seen these plays from a couple weeks ago. They know about Trace Mcsorley and his ability to just eat up yards on the ground. But when you have 2 big D tackles playing the way that they are for Michigan State, it makes life easy as a D coordinator. Mike Tressel.
3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Johnson to the top. 3rd and 4. Mcsorley has it open up. He's going to run, and Mcsorley's got the first down. David Dowell with the tackle, but not before Mcsorley moves the chains.
And here's where he can hurt you. Everyone gets up the field on the rush. He finds a seam. Can make you pay.
Mcsorley, short toss, hip and hammer into Michigan State territory at the 48.
Mike Tressel that time bringing 5. trying to get one-on-ones on the line, and a nice tackle by Andrew Dowell on the outside. How about that family? His twin brother plays safety. Younger brother's a freshman in the secondary. You got 3 scholarships in one family.
Makes the family happy. Mcsorley draw play Sanders. Steps through a tackle. Breaks a second. Breaks a third. Sanders with a cut. And Sanders on the run. Got a block. Oh, what a touchdown run for Miles Sanders. Just a breathtaking touchdown run by Miles Sanders and a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Well, look at the missed tackles. That's 1, 2, 3. Joe Bocci tries to shoulder him down, and then the cut at the end. Miles Sanders showing his physicality to get into the end zone. Physicality and athleticism with the juke. What an impressive touchdown run by Miles Sanders.
Now let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Some job boards give you tons of the wrong resumes. That's not smart. Then there's smart. ZipRecruiter finds people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job and actively invites them to apply, so you get qualified candidates fast. That's why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. ZipRecruiter, the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
And with Saquon Barkley looking on, Miles Sanders says, Saquon, do this. That was quite the run by Miles Sanders, who had just 43 yards against Ohio State and lost a fumble. He was not happy with how he performed in that. We were talking with Ricky Ronnie, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. He said, look, Miles felt like he left a lot of yards out there in the Ohio State game. He's found those yards today against the top rushing defense in America, Michigan State. And there's Cam Chambers on his way to the Michigan State locker room. Last thing they needed, Lisa Byington and Michigan State, was to lose another receiver. What's the latest?
Yeah, well, he's going into that direction instead of the Michigan State side to get X-rayed. I have gotten that confirmed from the Michigan State sideline. A right thumb is the issue for Cam Chambers. They tried to tape it up. He actually caught a couple passes from Brian Lewerke. Initially, I think they gave him the thumbs up, and then they changed their mind, obviously.
No Cody White, no Jalen Naylor, no Darrell Stewart, and now no Cam Chambers. And the injury woes continue for Michigan State as Lewerke looking for somebody to throw to. Can't get it to Davis. And again, they rolled the right-hand quarterback to the left side, at least the third time today, James, that we've seen that.
Yeah, and the thinking is you have the ball on the right hash. So you have all the field over here, more space for your wide receivers. But that's a tough throw for any quarterback to make. Quite honestly, that time, Kev, he put the ball, wasn't perfect placement, but a receiver of the caliber of Felton Davis, you expect to go down and make that catch.
Lewerke just 6 of 15 for 46 yards. And 1 for his last 7. 2nd and 10. Tried to dump it short, couldn't get it to Westin Bridges. And now 3rd and 10.
Timeout for injured player.
Fred Hansard down for Penn State. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Lewerke has to back up. And Lewerke has to throw it away. Again, 4 of his best receivers are not on the field. 3 are not here. With the flag down, we'll see if the drive stays alive or if the punt team's coming on, and it is the punt team. But wait.
Lewerke's trying to signal to the punt team
He's
to get
sending
off
the punt team off the field, yeah.
Holding, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Was it Cam Brown over there on that sideline, James? Look on the right side there.
Well, let's look on the right side of the screen. See if this is Cam Brown. He's in coverage on the back on Bridges. That had to be it. When you think about it, look, when you're in coverage as a linebacker, and Lewerke had nowhere to go, so it's great coverage. A lot of times you can't tell when he starts to scramble and you're just kind of lazily holding the back and he starts to burst on you. That's where you get caught with a holding penalty.
Both Hayward and Bridges in the backfield. And Lewerke will keep. Down he goes at the 27. Shane Simmons out there to make the stop.
Brought down by the Nittany Lions, Shane Simmons.
All right, the answer to our Aflac trivia question, how many Big Ten coaches have 6 10-win seasons on their resume? You're looking at one of them. That's one of the reasons that he's out there. But look at the name, the company he's in. Schembechler, Tressel, Paterno, Carr, and Meyer. How about that?
Really puts in perspective the success that Mark D'Antonio has had at Michigan State. To see his name in there, the name you don't see, Woody Hayes, one of the legendary coaches in the Big Ten.
2nd down and 8. Lewerke, quick toss. It's Larice Nelson who's got a first down near the 40-yard line. John Reed with the tackle. Now a little pace here for Michigan State with the clock at 3:24 and counting in this first half.
11 yards to the 39.
3-man rush. Finds Sowards, who drops the football and it rolls out of bounds. Incomplete or a catch? Nope, incomplete pass. Garrett Taylor able to knock it out of his hands.
And a really nice throw by Lewerke there. He's shaking his head because he knows he needs his wideouts to make those catches. But when you drop a ball in over a linebacker in front of a safety like that, that's a dime he threw in there. You got to expect your guys to make those plays, and he does. And that's what he was saying to his wide receivers. Hey, we got this. We can do this. Stay focused.
Play clock winding down. Michigan State's going to have to hurry. Play clock's at 2. Lewerke with 1 gets the snap. And Lewerke with some room to run. Lewerke with a first down in Penn State territory. 12-yard scramble for Brian Lewerke.
And that's what I was talking about earlier, Kevin. When he gets outside, just be decisive and take it down and go. You see the speed to be able to get around Sharif Miller. Changes the ball in his hands and slides to avoid the hit. But he has the speed when he just decides to. When he gets in trouble sometimes is when he's trying to kind of that indecision of should I throw it, should I run it? Nice quick decision that time by Lewerke.
Most effective runner of the day for Michigan State. Lewerke into all kinds of traffic. Look at all the blue jerseys around Sowards as he tried to fit it in amidst 3 of them. Taylor, Scott, Oruwariye all lurking.
I mean, you look at all the guys around him. There's trusting your arm, and then there's being reckless. That time, very fortunate that Garrett Taylor didn't turn around and just try to go for the football instead of playing the man.
Dotson in motion on 2nd down. With a sprint option, Lewerke wanted to pitch, but he could not. Excellent defensive play by Yetur Gross-Matos. Penn State, James, doesn't look like they're wanting to use a timeout here. They're going to let this thing run on 3rd and 12. You like the decision?
I think right now you take a timeout after this 3rd down play. If you get the stop. But they've gotten their explosive plays through the ground. Maybe James Franklin is thinking to themselves, we haven't really got the chunks in the air that you typically get when you're under 2 minutes. for a 2-minute drill.
On 3rd and 12. Lewerke under heat. Lewerke in trouble, and it's Gross Matos again. The pass incomplete, intended for Sowards, but the pressure from Gross Matos throwing off the play and bringing up 4th down.
A really nice job by Gross Matos. Look at him using his hands, getting inside, and then to have the strength with one hand stop Brian Lewerke and pull him back. Look at this grab here. Talk about hand strength. It also helps when you're 6'5", 259 as a defensive end and get that long reach.
Hamler awaiting the punt. And that, a wonderful play, saved inside the 5-yard line. Excellent hustle by Ryan Armour, who got down there and flipped it out of the end zone. The snapper with a second snap back onto the field.
I'll tell you what, that's a dream play for a long snapper right there. Look at the hustle. With one hand. That is nice.
48-yard punt, and they're going to mark this at the 2. They just moved that spot back a yard. So going from bad to worse for Penn State, which certainly factors into what you do here if you're James Franklin.
Well, Mark D'Antonio as well, Kevin. You have an opportunity with 3 timeouts yourself and great field position if you're able to get a 3 and out.
Mcsorley, little sidearm pass. Freiermuth with the catch, stays inbounds. Good tackle by Kari Willis.
I'm surprised he hasn't used a timeout. If you're able to stop him 3 and out and a good punt return, and you have a chance for a field goal.
Second down, no rush here for Penn State from their own 3-yard line. It's Sanders trying to get to the edge, and he's tripped up. Good ankle tackle by David Dowell. And now the timeout is used by Mark D'Antonio. We'll step aside for a 30-second timeout ourselves. Squad pinned deep at their own 4-yard line, facing a 3rd and 8. 14-7 lead for the Nittany Lions. Ricky Slade into the game now after Miles Sanders asked out at the end of that play. So it's 3rd and 8. Mcsorley from the end zone with time. Off Hamler's fingertips and incomplete. And Michigan State, with 2 timeouts, should have time and field position to work with here.
I like the play call. I like the idea to trust your quarterback to make a play on 3rd down and really delivered a nice ball to KJ Hamler. But the incompletion on the drop, you run that risk. You're punting out of your own end zone now. Michigan State's going to most likely get this ball on plus territory. Now you got a couple timeouts in your pocket to try to get at least a field goal.
Blake Gillikin, 2nd all-time at Penn State, averaging almost 43 yards per punt in his career. Pressure coming. Sowards from the Penn State 48. Sowards down inside the 40, near the 39. And the Spartans, their offense has come with some trick plays, including this fake punt.
Yeah, the fake punt, direct snap to Conor Hayward. He's able to take it. He could have tiptoed in bounds. He would have got it. But then, you know what? He becomes a quarterback on the next play. Delivers a dime to Cam Chambers. And then finally, one of these power football plays. It just took him 4 times, 4 attempts to get in. But the most important thing is they do for the touchdown. And now you have an opportunity. 2 timeouts, great field position to head into halftime with some momentum.
Davis will line up to the right of Lewerke to the top of your screen. Keep an eye on him. That's where they're going. And that one almost intercepted by Oruwariye. We saw it going that direction. So did Penn State and Amani Oruwariye.
And I guarantee Amani all week long, as you watch him lay out here, oh, he had 2 hands on it. That would have been a BTN standout had he caught that. But talking to Brent Pry, he kept telling us, listen, 18 over there, We saw him up close and personal last year. We know what he's about. And I guarantee Lewerke was challenged all week long in practice.
21 scrimmage plays this year for Felton Davis of 10 yards or more, but they've held him in check today. 2nd and 10. Lewerke with pressure coming, and he's sacked. Sharif Miller's 4th sack of the year. Need a little bit more yardage before Coughlin would come out, especially with the wind. Lewerke hoping to keep this one going on 3rd and 17. And Lewerke just going to run it. And Lewerke out of bounds at the Penn State 39, ushered out by Donovan Johnson. Not enough yardage to really give Coughlin a legitimate shot here.
By my judgment of these flags at the top of the stadium, looks like he'll be kicking into it.
And they'll bring on the punt team and Tyler Hunt instead. So they're going to punt, and instead of lobbing one up, they don't want to give Penn State, I would guess, James, any amount of time from the 40-yard line if it's incomplete. So Hunt will just sky this one. The fair catch by Tompkins inside the 10, and Penn State will likely take a knee and head to the locker room. Remember, Penn State is going to get the kickoff to start the second half.
Yeah, if you try a Hail Mary there, Kevin, then the ball gets batted down, then Penn State's taking it over. Really good field possession and 3 timeouts, and a quarterback who's done a lot through the air over the years.
And there's the knee by Mcsorley, and that will end the first half here in Happy Valley. Good first half. Penn State and Michigan State in this East Division potential elimination game. And the Nittany Lions take the touchdown this second half of the football. Short kickoff, Hamler from the 6. Hamler has big play speed, and he's trapped up just shy of the 25-yard line by Simmons. And this Penn State offense will go back to work.
What's interesting with that new fair catch rule and getting the ball in the 25, I guarantee if you're James Franklin and you have a talent like KJ Hamler back there, you allow him to make that judgment to take it out, because as you mentioned, Kevin, he is a home run threat every time he touches the ball.
I had to chuckle yesterday. We were talking with James Franklin. He was talking about when he got dinged up against Ohio State, and he said, you know, the only thing faster than his feet is his mouth. He immediately was like, no, I'm going to get back in there. Miles Sanders tripped up after a 1-yard play. Mike Ponashuk on the tackle. And he has said that multiple times when we've talked to him about KJ Hamler, the energy guy, always talking, always excited. But he said he was non-stop. After they sat him up after the injury against Ohio State, he wanted to go back in. They wouldn't let him. Good to go, though. Did everything this week as Mcsorley looking for his tight end, Freiermuth. And Freiermuth wasn't looking for it yet. That pressure from Raekwon Williams may have forced an earlier throw.
Yeah, when you're trying to develop play action and timing, you got to let, especially on a go route that Freiermuth was running, you have to let him clear the linebacker first. And the pressure up the middle, as you said, made him get rid of the football. And really a smart decision by a veteran to just do an overthrow there.
3rd down and 9. He's got Hamler and Tompkins at the top of the screen. Bowers is standing in that slot nearest the line. And Mcsorley flushed in some trouble. Mcsorley with a little fake trying to buy some time, but didn't get the first down. Joe Bocci runs him out along with David Dowell. A look at it from Hat Cam.
Well, I'll tell you what Trace Mcsorley does. You know who else does this in the National Football League now is Baker Mayfield. But they do the pump fake even when they've crossed the line of scrimmage, because defensive players a lot of times don't really know where that yard marker is. You're just thinking, I got to defend this, and so they get the defender off his feet there. Pretty impressive to get David Dowell up in the air trying to get some extra yardage.
Boy, but if you're Mark D'Antonio, you've got to be thrilled with the way your defense hemmed him up and held Penn State to a 3-and-out to start this second half. Sowards at the 29, and he'll go nowhere. Overtime today. They're now 0-6, and Minnesota really battled your alma mater, the Ohio State Buckeyes, today. Fell a little short. From the 26 on first down, Lewerke to the air, and there's Chambers with the catch, and Chambers has a first down. Chambers fired up. Lewerke missed the tackle. We showed you the East standings earlier. This is the West standings in Wisconsin with that huge showdown tonight against Michigan in the Big House, trying to remain the only unbeaten team. Northwestern at 3-1, and look out for the Hawks. They took Indiana apart earlier today. Kirk Ferentz's team starting to get it moving a little bit.
Yeah, both Iowa and Wisconsin still have to face this team, Penn State, later on this season.
Lewerke's pass is tipped, trying to get Davis involved, and they've really been trying to get him involved. Only one catch, though, as Lewerke got the tip.
You can tell that this has been a matchup that Lewerke has been looking forward to. And Brent Pry, the one guy that he mentioned on the receiving corps was Felton Davis. And I guarantee there's been a, hey, let's rewatch that tape. Let's rewatch what he did to us a year ago. And that fires you up as a player. I'm telling you from experience, when you see a guy that's had a good day against you the year before, extra motivation.
Second down and 10 at the 36. Trying to find some room is Hayward, and Hayward's going nowhere thanks to Cam Brown. Boy, penetration early from Gross Matos really threw that play off.
Yeah, and you can tell right now with this ground game, the mixing of the offensive linemen, and also talking to the offensive coordinator, Dave Warner, he said, you know, you really kind of took for granted L.J. Scott's ability to make people miss in the hole after he was watching, prepping from last year's football game. Right now, they need a guy like Connor Hayward or Ladarius Jefferson to start kind of creating and making plays.
Third down and 12 at the 34. Five-man pressure, Lewerke throws, he's got his man open, it's Nelson, and Nelson with a first down to midfield. Johnson and Wade finally bring him down 16 yards later, but it's a Michigan State first down, their first conversion on third down since the first third down of the day.
And a nice strike there to Reese Nelson, who did a good job of beating Johnson to his inside. A lot of times you want to maintain that inside leverage when you're in coverage because it's an easier throw to the inside than the outside for a quarterback. Lewerke being patient and finding the space in the defense.
They were 1 for 10 on third down in that first half. And now from midfield with Hayward in the backfield. And it's Hayward with the carry. And Hayward with a couple to the 48. Certainly a different build for Connor Hayward than his late father, Craig Ironhead Hayward, who was a punishing player for 11 years in the National Football League, and his brother Cam with the Steelers on that defensive line.
Look, I recruited his brother Cam. That was the one guy that I was able to recruit, the one guy that I hosted. So I'm 100%. I was 1 for 1 with his brother Cam, who's had a great NFL career, obviously. Remember him out of Peachtree down in Georgia.
I wondered the first time we met when you said, I'm the guy who recruited Cam Hayward. I thought that was an odd way to introduce yourself, but now that I see it's at the top of your resume. Lewerke may have to run this one. Nope, he'll throw late, and it's Davis with the catch on a knee. And that's a first down at the 36-yard line.
There was a lot of area for Davis to run had that throw been a little more accurate. Gosh, what a catch.
That's a heck of a play by Felton Davis. And it was a last-minute throw by Lewerke, that decision coming just as he got to the sideline.
The body control to be able to come back. He was on his knees already. Put both hands back to make that grab.
Michigan State's got something going here at the 36 at Penn State with a first down. It's Hayward with the carry. Hayward looking for a block and now just turns it up to pick up 3. Antonio Shelton out there to make the stop. Tuesday, Troy Johnson and Jenny Dell show you their favorite spots to eat on the go around the Big Ten. Catch an all-new edition of Campus Eats Tuesday at 10 Eastern right here on BTN. And a big congratulations. Jenny Dell gave birth to her daughter, Madison Dell Middlebrooks. Get this, October 10th, 10/10 in the calendar. The time of birth for Madison Dell Middlebrooks, 10/10 on 10/10.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Chambers in motion on second down. Lewerke being chased, and that one incomplete. He had Mcsorley as tight end with Garrett Taylor in coverage, but they couldn't connect, and it's third down.
I happened to run into Sokol's parents this morning with producer Mark Fox. We were sitting there having a lovely breakfast, and Mom and Dad came by and wished them luck and basically said we hope for no more injuries for Michigan State going into this ball game.
Both of his parents, incidentally, athletes in the Army. 3rd and 7. Lewerke. Cam Chambers deflected and intercepted by Garrett Taylor. Taylor tripped up at the 40-yard line by Cole Chewins, but the deflection off the wrapped hand of Cam Chambers right into the hands of Garrett Taylor.
Well, look at the eyes of Brian Lewerke. From the snap, he stares down Chambers, and there's great coverage. It looked like Koa Farmer may have gotten something on it. But if you let's look at Chambers, he's looking back, and it does go off that right hand that looks more like a pre-wrapped boxer. But when you stare down your receiver and you have great coverage on the perimeter, Koa Farmer getting a deflection. Big takeaway by Penn State's defense.
And a chance to really put the hurt on if they can punch it in here is Miles Sanders down to the 33-yard line. Mentioned it at the time, but one more look. This is it. The bandaged hand right there. Trying to pull it in with that wrapped hand, and the carom right to Taylor for his 2nd pick of the season.
And it's not just the wrap on the thumb, Kevin. It's also the fact that it goes around the wrist. So the wrist flexion, being able to rotate your hand a certain way to make a catch. But you have to give credit to the coverage as well. I mean, he was blanketed on the play. Penn State knew that's where he was going because they read his eyes.
On 2nd and 8. Mcsorley looking to the sideline. Freiermuth can't pull it in. Pretty good work by Kari Willis. Got a hand in there to help nudge that one out. Kenny Willekes with some pressure on Mcsorley. And now, James, a really important 3rd and 8 for this Michigan State squad on the defensive side and for Penn State on offense.
It's a big 3rd down because it's an opportunity to get back momentum. Whenever we would have a turnover by an offense, we'd always say it's called watch this defense. Greg Williams used to tell us, our D coordinator, it means watch us go out there and gain momentum back. Watch us get the 3 and out and get the ball back for our offense. Huge momentum play here.
It's Mcsorley. Tripped up shy of the 1st down at the 29. Just as he was hitting full speed, Matt Morrissey got him around the ankle.
Gosh, it looked like he had a lot of grass ahead of him. Watch this effort by Morrissey. Lays out. Just gets the ankles. Guess what? Whether you get the ankles or the legs, still marked down as a tackle.
But they're going for it on 4th and 4. 4 for 8 on 4th down this year. Protection for Mcsorley. Mcsorley stumbles and falls, and Michigan State gets the turnover on downs. Sometimes the green turf helps the visitors in green.
Eats and Watson. The Pennsylvania Lottery. The Penn State Alumni Association. The Penn State Bookstore. And Wise Markets. Thank you to all of our Blue Light corporate partners and their support of Penn State Athletics. Hey fans, Penn State Athletics would like to welcome all group ticket buyers for today's game here at Beaver Stadium. If you'd like more information on discounts and special experiences for your group of family, friends, coworkers, or employees, call 1-800-NITNY.
A little frustration showing from Trace Mcsorley. This was earlier, a little frustrated there, and this was right at the end of that fourth down play where his feet slipped out from under him as he was getting ready to go. Coming off one of the best games you've ever played in the Ohio State loss. I got to imagine there is a little bit of frustration here. Missed opportunity perhaps on the short side option now. The quick pitch to Jefferson, and Jefferson gets a couple out near the 38-yard line. Garrett Taylor bangs him out there.
Kevin, I like the play call of the option, but run it towards the field. Give your athletes opportunity to have space. When you run it into the boundary, you just run out of green grass. You get to the sideline too quick. By the time he makes that pitch, Ladarius is already almost on the bottom of the numbers.
Second down and 8 for Michigan State. C.J. Hayes now in, replacing Cam Chambers, and Hayes lines up to Lewerke's left, which is to the bottom of the screen. He's that single to the bottom. On second down, breaking a tackle is Jefferson and gets positive yardage. Good run by the freshman Ladarius Jefferson, who broke the tackle of Robert Windsor to get yardage to the 44, pickup of 6.
Really good effort, tough running by the former Mr. Football and Gatorade Player of the Year out of the state of Michigan. Look at that. One, great vision to get back and realize where his blockers were. Keep fighting for extra yardage. And that's what they need out of their ground game, is the ability to make guys miss. You're not going to have everyone blocked up on every single play. Sometimes you got to keep fighting and break through tackles.
Third and 2. Lewerke flag down, and Lewerke's down, short of the first down. About a yard shy. Lewerke over to listen in on the flag. He doesn't seem to be happy with what he heard.
Holding, defense, number 54. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run results in a first down.
That's Robert Windsor, James, called for the hold.
Well, you'll see him right here, 54 lined up over the center. Matt Allen. I'll tell you what, I wish that when I played, the referees made, I tell you what, if I was out there right now as a linebacker, I'd be letting the ref hear it. I'm just telling you, with how much the offensive line holds, you're going to call that on our guys.
You defensive guys. You, Millen, the linebackers are all the same. Lewerke, open, caught, down the sideline and out of bounds near the 20 is Matt Sokol. 25 yards. Reed finally catching up with the big tight end.
Well, you see him there, and Reed lets him go as if someone else is out there to pick him up. A nice job looking that football in, great concentration. Extends his 6'6" frame to make that catch. And he's a guy that they love in East Lansing. Dave Warner telling us he's one of those guys that does everything right. You can depend on him.
First down from the 20 off play action. Lewerke with time. Open is Davis, and Davis at the pylon. Touchdown. McPherson slipped on the turf, and a drive that started with a slip on 4th down ends with a slip in coverage.
Well, let's see if he gets 1 foot down. And it looks like he does from that angle. Got a little closer.
The ruling on the field on the previous play was a touchdown. The play is under further review.
Well, we can't see his right foot. His
Correct.
left foot is
has been watching this in our studios in Los Angeles, just as referee Mike Cannon is right now. Mike, it's ruled a touchdown.
I gotta tell you, these are so close, but I think you're all over it, that right foot gets down, the toe is down. He actually sticks the catch to me, and let's remember, what did they rule on the field? They ruled touchdown on the field. So it's got to be beyond a shadow of a doubt that the call was incorrect. And I think you have enough here to stay with the call and leave it as a touchdown. And again, the left foot's going to hit actually the pylon, and that would put him out of bounds. But that right toe on the turf, as you see it there, is enough to stay with the call.
All right, here's the call, Mike. Thank you.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And it comes down to, just as Mike Pereira said, how was it called on the field? It was called a touchdown. That right foot enough to keep it as is, and Felton Davis has his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
Penn State had done a really nice job, Kevin, of bottling him up, but his ability, always 1 play away, terrific touchdown catch.
And the extra point is good with a flag down on the extra point. Felton Davis had a catch for a touchdown last week and a touchdown run. Gets into the end zone again today, and this will be offside against Penn State.
Offside. Defense number 5 lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties declined. Kick is good. Timeout.
An East Division in a battle here at Beaver Stadium. 14-14. Michigan State starts at their own 15-yard line. Lewerke, Davis, plucked that one out of the air and gets 5. The pocket was collapsing on Lewerke, and then Scott and Reed collapsed on Davis.
Really nice job by Lewerke. He knew he had pressure in his face. He had an unblocked guy coming at him, so he had to get rid of the football. He delivers a nice, accurate strike to Davis. Takes the hit.
Last year, Brian Lewerke, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 400 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air against Penn State. 146 today in a tie game. Michigan State won that one last year, 27-24, in a game delayed 3 hours and 22 minutes by weather. Play clock is at 1. Lewerke on the short side option. The pitch goes out of bounds, trying to hit Hayward on the pitch, and it's out at the 19.
And Lewerke audible to that. He saw something that Penn State was aligned in, and he liked it. Just a inaccurate pitch to his tailback.
So now 3rd and 6. They've converted 1 third down in each half today.
This is the loud part of the stadium down here, Kevin, with the student section.
Blitz coming, incomplete. Looking for Bridges. He threw it behind him, and a little frustration now on the face of Brian Lewerke.
Well, he's telling Bridges, his young tailback, to sit in the hole. And they run some of those routes, and you notice the defender, a lot of times the quarterback will anticipate the receiver to kind of stop in the soft part of the zone. I think that's what he's telling them right now.
Short punt, bounces right to Tompkins. Fortunate he was paying attention. And a timeout at the 40-yard line. We are. Plays. Other than that, 54 yards in the other 37 plays. This is play 38 that gets 3. And the ball popping out at the end, but they're going to say he was down at the 43-yard line. Bocce came out with the football as Sanders stays down. Miles Sanders with 149 yards will limp to the sideline. Watch the ball come out after the knee is down here.
Let's see, right.
Ooh, boy. That was loose.
That's why Michigan State was celebrating on the sideline. They're thinking this should.
2nd and 7, not going to get looked at. Mcsorley on the roll to the sideline. Catch is made, and that's a first down. Brandon Polk into Michigan State territory at the 47. Trey Person on the coverage as Sanders tries to walk that off. Ricky Slade in at running back, the freshman.
I'm really surprised they didn't give that another look. It looked like that ball was coming out. You can see why he's limping a little bit, because he was crunched up there on the bottom of that pile.
From the 47 on first down, Mcsorley off play action over the middle. Freiermuth with a leaping grab.
Well, that's what the big 6'5" target can do for you. Look at where the ball was placed. Just over the top of Joe Bocce. Freiermuth, full extension. To drop that pass, Kevin, in front of, or behind Bocce in front of Willis. It's great accuracy.
25 for Freiermuth on the reception. Mcsorley off play action again. Looking for the end zone. And looking for Freiermuth, and it's no good. Dowell on the coverage of Pat Freiermuth. Boy, is he fast becoming one of Mcsorley's favorites.
Well, it was a nice job by Dowell turning around for it, but it hits Freiermuth in the hands. He's made some really nice catches in his young career here at Penn State. Had a nice one against Ohio State for a touchdown.
Ricky Ronnie, the offensive coordinator, recruited him. He said he came in even more prepared than I thought he would as a freshman. As Mcsorley takes it to the 19, a pickup of 3. He said, I recruited the kid. He's going to punch in the mouth. He's got natural ball skills. He said, but he was more prepared than I thought he would be when he got here to make an impact right away. And he's moved up steadily on that depth chart.
Yeah, he has. He said, hey, it's a rare combination, right, of elite ball skills, as we saw, and being physical at the point of attack. You don't see that a lot of times from a freshman.
Let's go! Let's go!
3rd down and 7. Mcsorley flushed again. On the run, flag down, pass incomplete. Cam Sullivan-Brown had it for a moment, and then Justin Lane raked his arm around the hands of the receiver. But we'll wait and see about this flag. And it's against Penn State. So Mark D'Antonio's got a decision. Do you put him back out there for another 3rd down and back him up perhaps out of field goal range, or do you let him try a game-leading field goal? He's chatting with Mike Cannon about where it would be spotted, where the ball would be. Crowd's not liking it, but this is a big decision here for the head coach.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the offense. Holding offense number 74. Penalties declined. Holding, offense number 71. Penalties declined, 4th down.
So he's made the decision. Do you like the decision to not give Mcsorley another 3rd down and long and make it 4th down?
I do. When you look at the fact that the conversation, Kevin, was over where's the spot of the ball going to be, which was one of these holding calls a little further back than the other. Can I get an advantage here? With a guy as talented as Trace Mcsorley that can do so much improving, I like this decision to make him kick the field goal.
Jake Pinniger from 37. And the kick by Pinniger is on the way, off the upright, and no good.
Well, now you really like the decision by Mark D'Antonio.
Her reaction was the same as most fans here at Beaver Stadium. Look at the hat cam here. No question that didn't get over the crossbar. And Michigan State jumping off the field in a tie game.
I'm really curious what you say to a kicker when he misses one. It's one of those conversations.
Don't miss again.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what technique are you coaching up in that moment?
First down and 10 at the 20, and it's Westin Bridges who fumbles the football. I think Westin Bridges got his own fumble back at the 19. And that is going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter in State College. We're going to the 4th. Michigan State still has the ball, barely in a tie game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the South Goal Line, where Director of Athletics Sandy Barber is joined by longtime Nittany Lions club members David and Susan Rosenberg. Class of 1971, David and Susan have furthered their commitment to athletics with a significant gift to support the Football Excellence Fund, which advances elements of the last football building renovations, allowing their student athletes to perform and train at their highest level. Please join us in thanking David and Susan Rosenberg for their gift to name the wide receivers meeting room for their lasting support of Penn State and more. Thank you, David and Susan.
As we head into the 4th quarter with it tied, I can tell you that is the most energetic and enthusiastic Michigan State sideline the entire 3rd quarter. Now, when I talked to Mark D'Antonio, this completely plays into his hands. He said The longer we can stay in it, I know this team, we are in survival mode. We will continue to believe, and that belief is growing. Remember, he reminded this team before this game, this program has a history of winning games it shouldn't, and in particular, in filling the shoes of key players who have been gone in history past. They've done it before. His message to this team, you can do it again today.
3 receivers and his top running back not here. Lewerke on the run, had to throw it away. Sharif Miller providing the heat. And to Lisa's point, James Laurinaitis, the most wins against AP top 10 since 2013. Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Michigan State. You've got little kids, you know, there's one of these things is not like the other, Sesame Street. If you were just to poll the average college football fan, I don't think they'd pick Michigan State as one of the 5 winningest programs against the top 10 over the last 5 years, but that's what they are.
No, you're absolutely right. And Mark D'Antonio does a tremendous job in weeks like he had this week. A disappointing loss at home, making sure his kids see the big picture.
3rd and 11. Lewerke with pressure up the middle, and it's incomplete. Garrett Taylor with a diving attempt at the pick. Micah Parsons providing the heat on Lewerke, and the punt team coming on for Michigan State.
Well, you see that pass rush ability that Micah Parsons has. They struggled on where to line him up, whether DN, linebacker. They put him at linebacker, and miscommunication there. When you have pressure in your face, Kevin, you got to get rid of the football. You have to mess up timing. And you can see it right there. Davis thought he was going to throw it to the left. He went the other way.
There's KJ Hamler from the 43. Hamler backing up. Hamler gets right back to where he fielded the punt. Buried by Spartans there. We talk about those missing Spartans from this lineup, and you're talking about L.J. Scott, Cody White, Darrell Stewart, Jalen Naylor. Don't forget the offensive line. This is the 6th different offensive line starting combo in 6 games. David Beadle, Kevin Jarvis not here as well today. You're talking about 6 guys that if they're on this trip and playing in this game, every one of those guys makes this team better. And they're not here.
Absolutely. And the most glaring is obviously L.J. Scott. Just the ability that he has to make guys miss.
Still no Miles Sanders. We saw him limp off. It's Ricky Slade, the running back. It's Mcsorley with the carry, and Mcsorley maybe a half yard. Kenny Willekes with the tackle, and I have been very impressed today, James, with that front 4 of Michigan State.
Yeah, so have I. And a lot of times you'll hear coordinators say, well, we held them to so-and-so yard. Well, if you take away those 2 explosive plays, this works today. That whole theory works today. I don't like it a lot of times because, look, they earned those explosive plays, but outside of those 2, this front has done a tremendous job against Penn State.
Good to see for Penn State, James, Miles Sanders back in the backfield. He's had a big day. See if he gets the nod here. He will not. Mcsorley off play action on the roll to the sideline, and Hamler. And KJ Hamler walking the tightrope to get the first down.
Well, a nice job by Trace Mcsorley to buy more time. Look at Hamler flipping his body, 2 feet inbounds, making sure he holds on to that football. Nicely done.
What a talent that freshman from Michigan is, KJ Hamler. Mcsorley, quick toss. It's his tight end Bowers, and Bowers fights his way for extra yardage and near a first down. Penn State getting a little momentum on this drive and a little pace for Penn State.
I really like the way Nick Bowers finished off that reception. Get the ball in your hands, get upfield, look up a smaller DB, get as many yards as you can.
Second down and a yard, play clock at 10. Mcsorley to Sanders. Miles Sanders with the jump cut gets the first down to the 31.
Tell you what, he had a nice jump cut, but an even better tackle, I believe, by Andrew Dowell. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, that's another one of those explosive plays. And looking at it from up here, I thought he was. I thought it was going to be a broken tackle. Nice job. Good hand strength, arm strength to bring him down.
11th first down of the day for Penn State. Again, big plays have limited the availability of first downs. Mcsorley on the roll, floating it up, open, incomplete. He had Tompkins with a step on Person.
Covered by number 24, Trey Person.
Tuesday night on The Journey, the powerful story of that man, Michigan State defensive tackle Raekwon Williams, who's overcome personal loss to mature into a defensive force for the Spartans. Don't miss The Journey, Big Ten Football 2018, Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern, right here on BTA. 22nd consecutive start today for Raekwon Williams. 2nd and 10 at the 31. Sanders, and Sanders toppled by Williams and Jack Camper.
When I was prepping for this game, he shows up a lot on film, but just against Northwestern, getting penetration. He's been playing well today as well. Consistency is what he and Mike Ponashuk have brought in the interior of this defensive line.
Michigan State trying to coax from the bench, a stop on 3rd down. Neither team has been able to do much on 3rd today. Mcsorley with time. Now on the run, fires, caught, 1st down and goal. Hip and hammer, found the crease, and he's down at the 5.
Well, when we were talking to offensive coordinator Ricky Ronnie earlier in the week, he said pocket movement was what Trace Mcsorley can always improve on. He just displayed that right there. Avoiding the pressure, but keeping his eyes downfield and making an accurate throw for the big game.
1st down and goal at the 6. Penn State trying to regain the lead 4 minutes into this 4th quarter. There's Sanders. And Sanders going nowhere. Good work by Tyreek Thompson. He went low and kind of had to lift and hang on to keep Sanders from popping free.
And a nice job by attacking. See, when you see and you read it, you diagnose, and you just pull your trigger. You get to the running back before he has time to make a move on you.
What was that you said earlier today, that by attacking you can cover up a whole lot of ills or some deficiencies if you're just aggressive in attack? 2nd and goal at the 5.
The worst thing you can do as a linebacker is sit and wait. You want to pull the trigger and attack. Try to get to the running back before he gets to the hole.
On 2nd and goal, it's Sanders again. And again, looked like the turf may have hampered him. That's the 3rd time today we've seen a slip. Mcsorley slipping on 4th down. They slipped in coverage on the Davis touchdown. And now, watch this here.
Yeah, he's trying to dip underneath of Ponashuk.
So it's 3rd and goal. Juwan Johnson, the receiver, to the top side. Hippenhammer and Hamler to the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye on Freiermuth as well. The tight end standing up. Now into his stance on the left side. Looking for Johnson on the fade, and the pass incomplete. Crowd wanted a flag. There is no flag. Justin Lane on the coverage.
Well, there's no flag for 2 reasons, Kevin. One, Justin Lane's eyes are back on the football and the quarterback the entire time. The second reason is, you know how big number 84 is, Juwan Johnson?
With one of your main goals at the start of the season on the line, a chance to compete and win the East Division and represent the East in the Big Ten Championship game.
Yeah, and it's putting a lot on his shoulders. The fact that you can still have the opportunity or the image of run the football to try to appear balanced, but they only have 90 on the ground today. They're still struggling to be dynamic on the ground. So you're putting all that weight on his shoulders to find these wideouts, and these wideouts are all banged up.
They'll run on 1st down, and it's Jefferson who's brought down by Koa Farmer. Good first down carry to the 30-yard line.
And so at home, you might be saying, well, why are they running the football? They've only got 90 on the ground. Well, when you're able to do it like that for a 5-yard gain, and now it's 2nd and 5, that allows you to have so many more options as a play caller between run, pass, play action now comes into play. When you allow a team to just say, you know what, they're just going to pass all the time, then you allow those talented defensive ends at Penn State just put their hand on the ground and rush. And you don't want that.
2nd and 5. That was awkward. Lewerke, and that's incomplete to Jefferson. It's an incomplete pass. Something went wrong right from the beginning on that play. You had both Hayward and Jefferson in the backfield.
Let's see if this is a forward pass. Yeah,
no question.
Yeah, you're right. It looked like there was some miscommunication between Hayward, maybe timing. Lewerke was sitting there like he was doing a fake to a ghost. And now this crowd really comes into play.
On 3rd down, flags are down. This play is not going to count. They stopped it before it starts with a false start.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Matt Dotson, the tight end, getting started a little early. Took a good play away.
Well, if you look at the top of your screen, he shifted up before that. He was aligned a little farther off, and I saw him move up. He kind of leaned, lost his balance, and tried to be sneaky. They caught him, and that's what happens when you hear this atmosphere, this crowd noise, and these fans get fired up. It's tough to hear.
On 3rd and 10, Lewerke to the sideline. Juggling catch is made by Davis. Lewerke had a shot at it, and Davis somehow pulled it in for the 1st down.
When he let that go, I thought that was going to be a pick. And look at the concentration by Davis. Using his legs to help on the assist. Look at this.
They're going to look at this one again. This will be a quick review. That is just a terrific grab by Felton Davis at a time his team needed a big play.
You hear it all the time, and people think it's just cliche talk about football being a game of inches. But when you saw that, and Lewerke is laying out, fully extended, instead it goes the other way. And the concentration of Davis, using his legs, his knees, to help out.
That is a terrific effort on both ends, really.
Yep.
Lewerke got a fingertip on it. Davis got 2 knees on it.
And on a 3rd and 10, I mean, the crowd's going crazy. You just had a false start. You're thinking, gosh, we had a 3rd and 5, 3rd and medium. It's manageable. Now it's 3rd and long. A lot tougher to come up with a play like that, getting a 1st down.
Mike Pereira is watching this one from our studios in Los Angeles. Mike, from our angle, that looks like a terrific catch by Felton Davis. What'd you see?
You know, it's an incredible catch, and you got the bobble. Of course, you can't control the ball between your legs. You've got to get it back up into your hands, and he does that with feet still on the ground and then roll over out of bounds and maintains control. So I see it as a clear catch.
Yeah, the ability to pull that one up, keep the feet down, and then roll through the sideline. Mike, thanks very much. That was fantastic. Now, I will say that one of Mike's keys was you always watch these officials, and when the second guy comes over with a notepad in his hand, when they're looking at the review, that maybe something is changing. And the second guy did come over with the notepad in his hand, but Mike Cannon has looked at it, and the word is...
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Completed catch, 1st down.
So a 1st down. The crowd will grumble a little bit, but that was a terrific effort by Felton Davis. Came in top 3 in the conference with 21 scrimmage plays of 10 yards or more. That's another one there, and a big one. That's re-energized this Spartan team a little bit. Sokol the motion man. And the give is to Jefferson. And Jefferson twists to the 40-yard line for 4. I feel like we've said that before today, James. A first down carry that gets 4.
We have a lot, and they run that power play over and over. It's what Michigan State has done since back when I was in school. They just love to run power. They love to just wear you down, and they stick with it. Even when everyone thinks it's not successful, it's not working. Mark D'Antonio is going to stick with the ground game.
Trenton Gillison in for the first time at tight end for Michigan State. Pressure coming, quick toss. It's Jefferson out of the backfield, and Jefferson fighting for the first down. Koa Farmer finally able to finish him off at the Spartan 48.
Nice quick decision by Brian Lewerke to get the ball out of his hands to his tailback. Give him some time and space to make a move, make a play. The thing about Ladarius Jefferson and Connor Hayward is that they do a nice job as receivers. They're both really athletic.
Jefferson on first down with a hole. Jefferson with a stiff arm, and Jefferson into the secondary. And Ladarius Jefferson with the best run of the day. Garrett Taylor finally chased him to the sidelines, but the Spartans are on the move. Another first down.
A really nice job on the power of cutting back, realizing that the space was there for him in an explosive run from a Spartan offense. And a nice job with the stiff arm. Talk about making that guy who's unblocked miss, getting extra yardage. In the past, he would have been tackled. These backs have gotten tackled by those open field tacklers. Nice job avoiding and getting a big play.
First and 10 at the 26. Lewerke to the sideline. Looked like he was trying to throw C.J. Hayes open a little bit there. Well covered by Castro Fields.
Yeah, Castro Fields playing zone. It looked like a cover 2. He zone turns to the inside, eyes on the quarterback. Lewerke was trying to hit it in that little honey hole, which is right behind the corner in front of the safety. Great coverage, great job sinking by Castro Fields.
Certainly in range for Matt Coughlin if Mark D'Antonio needs a field goal try. But Michigan State would love to put it into the end zone. Lewerke swings it to Hayward. And Hayward, they closed quickly. Lewerke was right there to get him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's 3rd down and 10. Spartans at the 26 of Penn State. 5:51 to go, and Lewerke on 3rd down has struggled, as has this team. Motion from Davis. Play action. Lewerke swings to Davis on the sideline, and he's out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 21, well short of the first down. Gibbons and Farmer closing the door on the sidelines. And now here comes Matt Coughlin to try to tie it up for Mark D'Antonio's Spartans. Coughlin this year, a perfect 8 for 8. He hit the game winner against Penn State a year ago. This from 40. He's hit his last 16 field goals dating back to a year ago to tie it on the road. And it's a fake. They'll run a fake, wide open, and it's inside the 5 and knocked away. Instead of a 40-yard tying field goal try, they run a fake and try to get it to Raekwon Williams. And now Penn State starts from their 22 on first down. Trace Mcsorley to the air, to the sideline. That's Jawan Johnson, and Johnson churning out near the 40-yard line. Willis and Lane combine on the stop out at the 37, a first down.
Well, back to this fake. We need your big D tackle calling for the ball, putting his hand up. That's a catch, if not for the great play by Garrett Taylor. When he comes over, hits him in the head.
Not much room up the middle for Sanders now with Panashuk on the tackle. As we check in Chicago, an update with Mike Hall. Former Buckeye quarterback Joe Burrow doing good work with LSU right now. Thank you, Mike Hall. As Mcsorley on second down, had to get out of the way of Will Fries, and the pass deflected and incomplete. Andrew Dowell with the deflection. And that LSU game, as Mike mentioned, could be multiple top 10 upsets depending on what happens here. You see Georgia trailing LSU 29-16. Notre Dame averted an upset. 19-14 winners over Pitt. Washington and Oregon are knotted up at 24 apiece. Is this the day we see multiple top 10 shakeups? It's always that random weekend somewhere in October where you see 3 or 4 top 10 teams struggle. Will that be today by the end of it? Third down, Mcsorley in trouble. Mcsorley hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Raequan Williams trying to be a receiver, goes back to what he does best, working on the defensive line, and they'll force the punt.
Really nice job getting pressure on Mcsorley. It looked like he was going to escape, but when you're able to get pressure from the interior of your defense, like Raequan Williams did there, when a quarterback steps up because of edge pressure, he has nowhere to go. And so a lot of times, that's why when you play these mobile quarterbacks, you need it from the outside and the inside to contain them.
Blake Gillikin to punt. Larice Nelson back deep. Good punt. Nelson with a fair catch called for and made at the 23. Michigan State to work and a pickup of 2 on the first down carry by Jefferson. Jan Johnson on the tackle, and will it come down to the right foot of Matt Coughlin again, who was out there moments ago when Michigan State, with a gutsy call by Mark D'Antonio, ran a fake field goal, a 40-yard try, and a pass to Raequan Williams, the defensive lineman, just off his fingertips. Second down and 8. Lewerke with pressure coming late, almost intercepted by Garrett Taylor. It was Taylor who broke up the fake field goal pass, nearly with a pick that may have ended the Spartans' hopes.
And again, there was pressure coming up the middle at the last second. Cam Brown, so Lewerke knows that his timing has to speed up. And so he's waiting for the route. He says, you know what, I have to let this go or it's a sack. Very fortunate that Garrett Taylor didn't make that play.
On 3rd and 8. Lewerke, a dart to Davis, first down. When you need the chains to move, Felton Davis III is the most likely target.
To have a big body like that, he uses it to shield the defender. Tough catch. Always coming up with big plays for the Spartans.
From the 35, a little pace. Lewerke hit, the ball pops out and out of bounds. Are they going to rule out a fumble or an incompletion? That'll be a fumble, I believe, and out at the 26. Shaka Toney hit him as he threw.
Well, it looks like the arm is coming forward.
Watch this again. They're going to call it a fumble and out of bounds. So technically a pass that went backwards by the hit, and now they're going to look at it again.
The ruling on the field was that it was a backward pass thrown out of bounds. The play is under further review.
So They're going to look to make sure. This is a big review for Michigan State from a field position standpoint and a down and distance standpoint with 3:02 to go in the fourth. Out of bounds at the 26 is where they've spotted it at the 26, and he was at the 27 when he threw it.
We saw this last week with Michigan State. They ran an option play and he lateraled it. It looked like it went backwards, but you judge on where the ball leaves his hand and then where it goes out of bounds. It looks like this is a backward pass. If that's what they ruled, that it was a backward pass, this is what it is.
Mike Pereira is keeping an eye on it in Los Angeles. Mike, ruling on the field a backward pass with the pressure from Shaka Toney.
We think it might be a forward pass here because the arm does start forward with the ball, and then he's hit, which causes the ball to go backwards. So even though the ball goes backwards, it's still the forward motion of the arm that's into play. So as we look at it, we think, and again, look, ball, arm moving forward, arm contact by the defense caused it to go backwards. So not going to be at all surprised here if they turn this into an incomplete forward pass.
Which certainly would make Mark D'Antonio happy. Mike, thank you so much. Mike Pereira in our studios in Los Angeles. And there is the man with the pad. Now this is what Mike Pereira talked about. Yeah. This gentleman right here. He's the guy who, when he brings out the pad and starts writing on it, it's one of the tips Mike Pereira gave us a couple years ago. Usually that means an overturn is happening because he's got to write down time, distance, and he's also got to write down, whether or not there's a change. So let's see what the ruling is from Mike Cannon.
After review, the quarterback's arm was coming forward as he was hit. Thus we have an incomplete forward pass. Brings up second down, ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. Please put 3:11 on the game clock. 3:11.
What these fans...
Thank you.
These fans are upset because all they saw was a backward pass. They don't understand. It doesn't matter. The ball was going forward, or his arm motion was going forward. It doesn't matter where the ball went at that point.
So it's second down and 10. Now hold on a second. Mike Cannon, the referee, is being summoned over to talk with James Franklin and let him know why that was overturned. You could read his lips. He threw a backwards pass. Head linesman providing the explanation that I don't believe satisfied James Franklin. Second and 10. Four-man rush. Lewerke with the catch at the 40-yard line for his tight end, Matt Dotson. 5 yards shy of the first. Micah Parsons with the tackle. Another big third down coming up here for Michigan State. This crowd will make it rough on Brian Lewerke.
I would think this is 4-down territory if you're the Spartans. You have all 3 timeouts. But with that dangerous offense, you got to get points.
Lewerke with time. Pressure coming. He's in trouble and he's sacked. Windsor with the sack. The ball popping out. They'll rule it down on the sack from Robert Windsor. And now 4th down for Michigan State. And maybe the last chance for the Spartans.
Well, as you see here, Lewerke's trying to let go of the ball. He pumps. Great coverage. Nice coverage sack. Great effort by Windsor, as well as Gross Matos.
And so now Tyler Hunt will punt it away. Tompkins with a fair catch at the 28. So Mark D'Antonio is going to rely on the 3 timeouts and his defense to try to get the ball back one more time in this ball game.
And I wonder if he would have went for it had it been a 4th and 5 and not 4th and 10. In that moment, the crowd's going crazy. They're into it. It's just off a sack. This place would have been a madhouse trying to get off a 4th and 10 conversion. So instead, you have 3 timeouts. You have a defense that's been playing really well. You got to rely on them to get you the ball back in another opportunity.
So a first down and 10. And Mcsorley and company can put this away. Mcsorley on the keep. And Mcsorley wrapped up Dowell, the first to get to him. Williams finishing him off at the 31. And there's timeout number 1 used by Michigan State.
The physicality on that run was so impressive. To break 3 tackles and then still have the presence of mind and the energy after that to make that jump cut and then finish it off for 6.
Second down and 7. Sanders in trouble. Sanders losing yardage to the 29. Joe Bocci, the veteran, right on top of him there.
Joe Bocci has a knack for making big plays when his team needs him to. Think back to early in the year with the interception they tipped to himself. That might look like just a simple tackle for a Mike linebacker to make. But when you're playing an offense like Penn State, where they have everything available to them with Trace Mcsorley, his ability to run, obviously Sanders with the big game, you have to be dialed in and locked in. You have to be able to slow your heart rate down in those key moments, and Joe Bocci is a playmaker for the Spartans.
They're going to need him to make one more play, James. 3rd and 9. A first down by Penn State would effectively end it. If they don't get the first, Michigan State will have one more shot. Mcsorley going to run for it. Looking for first down yardage. Will not get there. Justin Lane on the tackle and out of bounds, preserving the timeout for Michigan State. Costly mistake by Mcsorley going to the sideline and not just falling in bounds, James, when he knew he was going to be short.
That's very surprising. I think that's where the competitiveness of Trace Mcsorley hurt him. You're trying to always pick up the first down, pick up the extra yardage. You have to have the awareness of the time and where you're on the field. And like you said, just fall to the ground and make sure that clock keeps going, or make Michigan State use that timeout.
Maurice Nelson is back. Good punt. Nelson has to wait on it at the 14. Good cut. Nelson down at the 24, where Michigan State will start what they hope will be a game-tying or game-winning drive with 1:19 to go and only 1 timeout remaining in this game. So, James Laurinaitis, it comes down to 1 timeout left. It comes down to needing yardage to either get a field goal or a touchdown. What's the approach for Michigan State right here?
Well, Michigan State has been playing to win this football game. You saw that with the fake field goal. If they were just playing to tie or make this game go into overtime, they would have kicked that field goal. So you got to depend on your big-time playmakers. Brian Lewerke, Felton Davis, they have to step up and make plays on this final drive.
Starting from the 24-yard line. Lewerke will set up the screen. Hayward down at the 35-yard line. They'll stop the clock while the chains move with 1:11 to go. Cam Brown on the tackle. And now Lewerke and the Spartans to work. Hoglin's long this year is 49. His long last year, 46. Lewerke, and that one almost intercepted by Oruwariye. Stepping in front of Felton Davis, and oh, so close to ending it.
Gosh, he has been jumping routes all afternoon, and to have it hit him right in the hands, the unbelievable read. You have to seal the game when you have the opportunity to do so.
Second and 10 at the 35. Davis to the bottom of the screen now. Oruwariye follows him there. On 2nd and 10. Lewerke over the middle. It is caught at the 45-yard line, and down at the 44 is Maurice Nelson. Here come the Spartans. Clock stopping, 51 seconds to play. Ball at the 44. They probably need 14 more yards to get into decent field goal chance for Coughlin. Plenty of time with a timeout left. Lewerke going to the air on the sideline for Davis, and it's off his hands. 2nd and 10. That's Chambers in motion. Lewerke quickly to the air. It's Nelson with a catch, and very close to field goal range now as Johnson makes the tackle. Clock stopping with the movement of the chains. And now down is Larice Nelson.
Timeout for injured player.
So Nelson is down. Goodness. Already no Darrell Stewart, no Cody White, no Jalen Naylor. We saw Davis injured on the last play. Now Larice Nelson injured on this play right here.
And it looks like he gets bent back. I mean, his leg gets caught under him. His right leg gets caught underneath him here. And watch his upper body go back.
And they're going to get him up and move him to the sideline very carefully. That brings in sophomore Andre Welch. Little used sophomore, I should add, but Davis is back out on the field for Michigan State. The clock had stopped with the first down, so we'll mention no 10-second runoff there because it had stopped to move the chains. 1st and 10 at the 33. Lewerke looking to the sideline, too tall for Davis. Oruwariye out there, and Gross Matos with a little bit of pressure and a bump for Lewerke after the pass.
Yeah, Lewerke, he sailed that ball on purpose. He understood that they had pressure. I'm not going to try to force it. I've gotten away with a few on these Penn State DBs. Oruwariye could have ended the game earlier on this drive, so he let that sail. Live to fight another down.
There's Matt Coughlin. Will it be his moment soon? 2nd and 10 at the 33 of Penn State. Swing pass, Hayward. Hayward out of bounds. Heads up play by Hayward. Ran out of room. Ran out of bounds to save the timeout with 25 seconds to go. And they're very much in Coughlin field goal range now.
Yeah, they are. And you have to wonder if there's not some, here we go again on this Penn State defense, having the lead, 4th quarter, a team's driving. This is a massive 3rd down here.
3rd and 2. Michigan State trying to rally for one of the biggest upsets in the Big Ten this year. On 3rd down, Lewerke down the sideline. He's got it. Touchdown, Davis, and the Spartans take the lead. 19 seconds to go, and Michigan State is on top.
Brian Lewerke with the back shoulder throw, understood Oruwariye was in coverage, had a good right on his hip. But when you underthrow a ball, that is such an advantage when you have that relationship that Lewerke and Davis have.
The extra point makes it a 4-point game, and James, Michigan State had been outscored 58-18 in the 4th quarter this year. Today, they've outscored Penn State now 7-3 on this touchdown pass from Lewerke to Davis.
And you see the ball's underthrown on purpose. He knows his wide receiver's going to adjust. Felton Davis, you talk about the toughness of a player. A couple plays ago, goes down. He's laying there for a while. Probably had the wind knocked out of him.
And Mark D'Antonio, you think this is the big game for him? You bet it is. Big smile from the head coach. What did he tell Lisa Byington? We've won big games, missing players so many times in this program, and they're 19 seconds away from one of the more improbable wins that Mark D'Antonio's had in recent history.
Think about the mental toughness it takes, not only of Mark D'Antonio, of convincing his whole locker room that, hey guys, I know we have all these injuries, but let's keep fighting. Let's keep believing. And things didn't go perfect for them in this football game either. You talk about the explosive runs. You come in here thinking we have a great #1 ranked in the country run defense, and then they get run over on some big explosive plays. Speaks a lot about the character of the Spartan football team.
Again, they're missing 6 regulars who didn't even make the trip. 3 at the wide receiver position. Here's Hamler. He can make a big play. Hamler to the 20. Reversing to the 25. And now at the 27, where Penn State will have 13 seconds to work. This earlier, remember, Penn State had a chance to grab the lead, but a doinked field goal kept the game tied at 14. Penn State would sorely love to have those 3 on the board right now, because it puts a field goal for a win in the conversation. That is not a part of the conversation now. 2 timeouts, 13 seconds, and Penn State needs 74 yards and a touchdown to win it. And a timeout used by Mark D'Antonio. Something the head coach didn't like from what he saw on that Penn State offense.
The 3rd and final timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Oh boy, Michigan State coming into this game a prohibitive underdog to Penn State with all the injuries, the lack of a run game, a defense that had given up 300-yard passing days to 3 quarterbacks in 5 games this year. And yet, Trace Mcsorley held to 172 yards passing, and Michigan State 13 seconds, James, from a mammoth upset and eliminating essentially Penn State from the East Division conversation. Mcsorley on 1st down. Going over the middle. Leaping grab is made by Hamler. Clock will stop with 6 seconds to go, and the timeout is used by Penn State. 1 timeout remaining for the Nittany Lions. The ball at the 46. And now is it just see how far you can throw it, Trace Mcsorley?
It has to be. See how far you can throw it, Trace. Get it to the end zone. The tricky part with that is you have to make sure, because you're so far away, your guys have enough time to get to the end zone before you let the ball go. Kevin, you bring up Michigan State and the impressive job. Think about this, too. They played an emotional game against Northwestern. The disappointment of that. And Penn State obviously is healthier, but they're also coming off a bye. And so they've had more time to prepare for this one. Their bodies are fresher. Everything was stacked against the Spartans in this one. Shows a lot about the job Mark D'Antonio has done.
6 seconds to go. Mcsorley flushed. Now he's got one chance. He's got to throw it as deep as you can and hope for a miracle. And this one knocked away. Michigan State with the upset on the road. 8th ranked Penn State falls at home to unranked Michigan State. 21-17. The stunning final in State College.
And for the 2nd home game in a row for Penn State, you had the lead in the 4th quarter, and you weren't able to hang on. But I think it speaks to more. We've talked about it over and over. The injuries for the Spartans, to be able to overcome all of that. Your run defense didn't really travel well with you today. Regardless, you find a way to get a W.
And Michigan State finds a way to stay alive in the conversation in the East Division 1 week after falling to Northwestern. And the final play batted away by Matt Morrissey and Mark D'Antonio. What a big week for his program. He brought his coaches in on Sunday after the Northwestern game and asked them how they were doing. Wanted to make sure they were okay after the loss to Northwestern, and then they started the preparation for this. It'll be a very different meeting this week. Let's check in with Lisa Byington.
Well, you had a depleted roster. You're on the road, and your backs were against the wall. What is it about this program that thrives in that kind of situation?
You know, we talked about it could be a special day for us. You know, a little bit like the Rose Bowl and some of these different things we went through. So we just kept playing.
I know that you have
got a lot of guys out, kept playing. A lot of people back in East Lansing happy.
But it's more than just playing. It's managing a roster. It's managing specifically a depleted offense. How did you manage that here tonight?
Well, I think, I don't know. I think we play hard. By the grace of God, we got it done.
Okay. I do have to ask, what motivated the fake field goal call at that point?
Well, we weren't gonna play to lose. We weren't gonna play to tie. We wanted to win the football game. I thought we had a great shot to get it, and so we ran Little Giants too, but it didn't work. So we're working on it.
All right. Thank you.
Go green out there.
Well, we ordered up a little college football chaos, and we got a little bit in State College today.